I think the word hero is a nice to be there for a woman in a way of holding her that way, and in that way being for her, even receiving. Right? It's like a double pay.
Yeah.
You pay because you receive so much because you can be there for her. A man gets meaning by being needed. But then in the same time, as you do that, you get your heart filled of her heart. And it's like, wow, that's a double whammy, right? Feel a hero, and also what we say, like the king, yeah? You really, yes. It's like, okay, there, and you hold that up, and on one side, it's like, wow, okay. And it's a real interesting thing of how much she struggles, and there's so much collective distrust there to open your heart and give it fully. And you stand there and you also carry all of masculinity and say, I know, but please forgive me, right? Please love me. Please allow this to happen, in forgiveness. And then when that soft and gentle moment comes.
A few days on now from, I think it was on Saturday, that we did this, what should we call it, exercise together. We came together in this initiation, which was so special. Something I've never done before. And yeah, I really did feel myself falling. Falling for Kai, falling. Dropping from my knees once I started to lean into him and allow him to hold me. And since then, it's been quite a dreamy experience. It feels like the moment's been held, like there's still light shining on the moment. I'm still there, although geographically I'm away from Kai. I'm still feeling very connected. Yeah, and I feel like I transitioned from my head space more into my heart space, more into my body more.
I mean, just look at her.
I know, glowing.
It's nothing. Just put a picture up before and after, and it says it all. What happened? So, yesterday and on the day after, I was basically, yes, I was existing and I was living, but I wasn't there. Something was in a kind of waiting room to transform, and there was nothing to be done. You just could do the normal task, but I wasn't ready to talk. I wasn't ready I just could exist. And I knew some big cogs are moving, and it's really bizarre and really, really strange. And then I'll switch on the camera and look at her. Just look at her. No, let's say that something has changed. Something that the embrace has brought a higher dimension. I don't know, also, Carrie, because since perfect. it was very catalytic, right? Of how we had our chat. And then I came, and then I dared to say, do you know what? Would you initiate us? And he said, yeah. And he said, but I can't. And then it worked out. And then Sarah said, yeah, okay, I will do it. And everything happened. And in this whole build-up, it was so mystical. It was so bizarre. It was so... And then afterwards, you're just like, what was that? What was that? And you were so instrumental for it, because to put someone into space to say, now fall for your man, right? And truly
in front of everybody.
Yeah, in front of everybody, exactly, right? And open up and dare to get vulnerable again. And then she showed up after initially becoming aware of her own struggle, and finding the point where she can open that door, and then she opens that door, and since then you can't put your finger at it, but oh my, it's a roller coaster ride ever since, like in the most perfect sense. She has never gone away from me. Since then, I get it. all the time in my energy system. Beforehand, she swapped out and in and out and in, but since then, she has not gone out of our relationship energy system. She's just there and she's rock solid, and that is a massive change.
Yeah, my body started to, I think it started here to say, yeah, I will allow myself to drop and to fall. And then the brain starts disengage, and then the heart starts to engage, and then the body starts to drop. And literally, you know, how often do you hear women say, "Oh, and I felt, and I just dropped." You know, I really did. I felt my body relax and lean in to Kai's, and yeah, my legs started to do this little faltering thing. Yeah, I wanted to allow myself. I wanted to drop and allow myself to be that vulnerable. He was worthy for that. You know, I felt he's strong enough to physically hold me, but also, yeah, in my heart, desiring, when you were saying about allowing my heart to flow like a river into him. That's such a beautiful image, such a beautiful feeling to do that. Yeah, felt very overwhelmed, and I feel it was more physical. It was a feeling that he could physically hold me, and that had such value to it, because to intellectually know that somebody is verbalized they're there to hold you and to be there for you is one thing, but yeah, there's something about it happening in the body that kind of connects things up. So it's not just intellectual or verbal, it's something about leaning in physically with your body.
I was very aware that she was asked what most women in today's society are fearful, right? That they give too much, that they give something that would put them in a vulnerable space. And relationships have become about gaining, about giving, or about receiving, about what is it in it for me, right? I'll do it so that there is something in for me, and so on. And then the woman is asked to give her all, right now in this moment, to say, but not only to give it her all in this moment, but for all generations that she's connected to. When you did that ritual and you ask her to say, drop now, she was facing 7 generations more than less forwards and backwards to go a different way of allowing to pour out your heart, which is always abundance. But the mental block is lack. No, I can't do that. No, he will take advantage of me. No, I'll get in a weak position or whatever, become vulnerable. But there is the point is, oh, I need to give again. As I give my presence, as I give my emptiness to her way is to give her heart's filling, to fill that space. And in that moment, and that giving, that unconditional giving, that is something nowadays that was so truly amazing, that made this, you know what, have it. I give it to you. And to hold that and to feel that ever since, because ultimately healing happened through the mind. And she made a decision, as I felt it, in that moment, to say, you know what? We're not doing half stories. We're not doing this. We'll go the full hog now. Let's try this. Here is my heart. And she opened her heart and he said, let's see what happens. I pour out my heart, not into you, but into the space that is there to fill, that I provided. And suddenly it's like, wow. And now the last 2 days, it was about this space in between us was just being filled and poured out by her abundance, by her beauty, by her grace, about her glory. And I see her now really the first time since 2 days, and I just like, wow.
Yeah.